You ever look across the room and see your wife, but feel like she's a million miles away? The house is full, calendar's packed, but you feel completely alone. Here's the truth most men never hear until it's too late. Here's the truth most men never hear until it's too late. She didn't just shut down randomly, she disconnected because your ambitions did. Failing marriages, they don't just start with cheating or yelling, they start when the fire inside you goes out. And when your fire dies, her desire dies with it. Let's be real for 1 second. Most guys assume their wife is distant because they said something wrong, or because she's stressed, or just going through a phase. But here's the truth. It's not about your tone, it's not about the dishes, it's not about communication. It's about energy, leadership, and ambition. See, what most men don't realize is that your wife didn't just disconnect out of nowhere. She pulled away because you did first. You didn't mean to, but somewhere along the way, you stopped leading. Not in your business, not in your job. I'm talking about leading your household, your marriage, and yourself. Let me give you a hypothetical scenario that's way too common. Imagine your marriage is like a fire pit. In the beginning, the thing was roaring. You threw on logs every day. That was effort, passion, vision, presence. You brought the heat. She felt it. She wanted to be close to it. But over time, you got comfortable. You stopped adding fuel. You got busy with work, with kids, with stress, and that fire started fading. Now, maybe you're still tossing in a stick here and there, date night once a month, a random I love you text, but there's no real flame behind it. So, what does she do? She backs up because nobody wants to sit next to a cold fire pit. That warmth she once felt is gone. Not because you're a bad guy, not because she stopped loving you, but because you stopped bringing the fire. That's why she's distant. Not because of what you said last week, but because somewhere along the way, you stopped being the man who leads the flame. Now, in the next section, we're going to break down the exact shifts from prince to king and why one draws her in and the other pushes her away. And this is important. The reason why I call it prince is, to make a stark difference between what a king is and what a prince is. And there are 4 archetypes to a man. There's the king, the warrior, the magician, and the lover. So we're going to touch a little bit on the king today. One of the most important parts on drawing in your wife magnetically to you. So let's talk about the real shift that happens in a marriage. The shift from king, which is where you were, to prince, which is where most guys just comfortably stumble into. Most men don't realize it happened. They just wake up one day wondering why she's distant, shut down, or checked out. Now let me break that down. The prince is nice. He's polite, accommodating. He avoids conflict, which actually makes you feel unsafe, by the way. He asks, what do you need me to do? He doesn't want to rock the boat. He tiptoes around her moods, hoping to keep the peace. But the peace he's protecting, it's empty, because a prince doesn't lead, he waits for permission. He's not dangerous, he's not driven, he's predictable, and predictable doesn't create desire. The king is a builder. He doesn't chase her moods. He anchors her through them. He doesn't ask what she needs. He creates a life worth following. He leads from purpose, not approval. He walks into a room with direction. He knows who he is. He owns his energy. He brings structure, vision, and fire back into the marriage. And here's the key difference. A prince reacts to her emotions. A king contains them with strength, presence, and certainty. That is the core. When your wife is anxious, nervous, she's angry, the way to cut through that is to be a king, to be grounded, be strong in your masculinity. Let's say your wife says, I feel like I don't even know who you are anymore. The prince freaks out. He apologizes. He panics. He says, "What did I do wrong? Just tell me what to fix. I'll do anything." He puts the entire outcome of marriage in her hands, and in that moment, she feels even more alone. And think about that. Just think about how he reacts to her versus how a king, how a strong masculine presence reacts. Which one sounds more attractive? Now, the king hears the same words, but he responds differently. He looks her in the eyes and says, "I hear you. You're right. I've been off. I've been rebuilding, and I'm not stopping. I'm not going to ask you to trust me yet. I'm going to show you it's safe to." That's power. That's masculine leadership. And guess what? Even if she doesn't say it out loud, she feels it. She notices. She starts to lean back in because she didn't marry a prince hoping he'd become a better helper. She married a king praying he'd rise again. Now, why does any of this actually matter? Why does it matter whether you're showing up like a prince or a king? Because this isn't just about getting your wife to smile again. It's about who you are when no one is looking. That's true integrity. And what your kids will remember 10 years from now. So let's zoom out for a second. This is about identity and legacy. Most men I talk to say the same thing. I just want my wife to feel safe again. I want my kids to respect me. I want to stop feeling like a ghost in my own house. But here's the gut punch. You can't give your family safety if you're not standing in your own strength. You can't lead your kids with power if you're leading your home with fear. And you sure as hell can't pass on legacy if you've lost your identity. Picture this. It's 10 years from now. Your son is having a hard time in his marriage. Your daughter is choosing what kind of man she'll marry, and they're both asking the same silent question. What did dad do when things got hard? Did he collapse? Did he fade in the background? Did he keep the peace and lose the connection? Or did he rise? Did he rebuild? Did he lead through fire and become stronger? That's why this matters. Because this isn't about just her. This is about the man you are, the marriage you build, and the legacy you leave behind. And if you're ready to lead again, not just fix things, stick with me. Because in the next part, we're going to talk about how to rebuild your kingdom one step at a time. Because the world doesn't need more men playing small. It needs more kings. All right, brother, let's wrap this up. If you're feeling like this, if you're watching this thinking, man, that's me, that's my marriage, then don't just sit with that. Don't go back to scrolling. Don't go back to guessing. Because right now, you're standing at a fork in the road. Option one, you keep waiting, keep pretending she'll come back around, keep avoiding the work that scares you, but could change everything. Option two, you lead again. You start chasing, start building, you rebuild trust, reclaim clarity, and give your wife something she wants to follow, not something she tolerates. And here's how you can do that. Either grab a copy of the Heroic Husband book. It breaks down exactly why traditional advice fails and what actual works to rebuild trust, connection, and desire when she's emotionally gone. You can get that in the description right below this video. Second, if you're serious about saving your marriage and ready for a real strategy, not just trial and error, book a free clarity call with my team. We'll walk through your exact situation and help you get clear on a path forward fast. And that is also in the description below. No fluff, no scripts, just truth and a plan. Because the worst thing that you can do right now is nothing. You've got this, and we've got you.